I just realized though, like if I start streaming too early, sometimes it adds it even though it's not on the channel. Like even though I haven't clicked go live. Okay, we are live.
Welcome to the Kind of Unkind stream.
Wow.
Oh, I know.
That's not awkward.
It's been a while. It's been a whole week, in fact. Well, a week for you, months for me. I got locked in a time fortress, and I've played every video game. All of them. Every last one of them. Anyways, welcome to the stream. My name is Oz of the Idiots, and I'm here with my two lovely companions, friends, and also co-host. I almost said Sky. Sengoku.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
And of course everybody knows Sengoku's nickname, not Sky.
Mm-hmm. That is my most prolific nickname.
I'm also here with my other good friend, not Phoenix, Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also known as Not Sky.
That's correct, and not Phoenix.
We're all not.
Rex, I have two monikers, equaling to the two horns on the top of my head.
Not Sky and not Phoenix.
I like to also believe that they are also the angel and devil on my shoulders. But both of them are Jack. Yeah, I'm just Crank.
Anyways, welcome to the stream. We hope you enjoy. If you do, please share, like. You can like download us, listen to us offline. Yeah, that's about all I got. Anyways, how you guys doing today?
Doing all right. We're down a couple of friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
we lost them. We lost them the DLC wars. They're still purchasing DLC as we speak.
Tragic.
It's a terrible loss.
Aye. But soon we will get them back when we go for the bug wars and eventually the co-wars.
Anyways, how you guys? Your week's been all right?
Yeah, it's been decent, pretty good. Been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. Enjoying that thoroughly.
Can't wait to play that game.
Yeah, it's good times. I really want to play like a co-op game though.
You know, I'm down once I fucking get the money to buy the game.
Yeah.
Just a couple more days. I'm right there. Friday is coming up real quick.
Yeah, I got really lucky when I was just talking to a friend and mentioned that I really wanted it, and he was like, "Oh, well, I actually got sent an extra copy," and I was like, "What? You're so lucky." He's like, "Here's the link," and just gave me a deluxe edition. And I was like, "What?"
That person did not get an extra copy. That was actually his copy, and he's trying to fuck you.
I mean, if he had offered, if he was like, you know, like, just gotta go down low for some Baldur's Gate, I would have considered.
You need some balls in your jaw for this Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I would have been the gate for his Baldur.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
We all suck dick for video games. I think that's where we've ended up here.
I haven't, but I'm considering.
If there's a Baldur's Gate 4 and it's like even like twice as good as this game, I'm in.
Yeah, I do wonder though where they're gonna go from here with this though. Like they have reached kind of a because I don't know if you know, but there is a level cap of 12.
Well, it's the. I'm sorry for those who haven't gathered it already, but this is if you don't. Okay, so you can all mark it down. I know exactly what they're gonna do. What they're gonna do is they're going to release first either a DLC or a full expansion, and it's going to go up to level 16. Probably a DLC that adds a new mission, new excitement, get you to level 16, maybe even level 18. And then they'll come up with one last expansion. It'll be an epic, awesome time-traveling adventure at the edge of time, and it'll get you from 18th to 19th level.
See, I don't think
or 18th to 20th is what I think.
See, I don't think they will, to be honest with you,
Well,
because
okay.
I don't think you can make a D&D game that goes to level 20. You know what I mean? I don't think that is a thing you can do.
Well, Solasta, it goes up to level 20.
Yeah, but we've never even gotten like a character that high to see how the game plays out, right? Because if you
That is fair. Me and Victoria have made it up to level 9. We're still bucking through the game.
And I think that's why they set the limit of 12, because after 12, spells and abilities become ridiculous. Like you're like demigods, right?
Oh, yeah, that's why I don't like high level play. I fucking hate it.
And that's what makes it tricky, because you'd enter an encounter and it would be like, okay, cool, one of your party members is insta-dead. Oh, now 2 of your party members are insta-dead. Oh, I cast Wish. And it's like, how as a game do you animate Wish? Like, how do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's just,
you do the same thing that you did with Monk, and you just strip it from the game and just use the most core direct stuff that works. I'm not saying that they should, and I am with you that they shouldn't. I'm just saying how it's probably gonna go, because that's where the money goes.
Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna do it, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to go higher levels. They've already stated that that's why they put the cap there, so I think that's what's like. I've never had a fun campaign over level, I think, 10 in D&D. It always gets weird. Like after level 10, after that it starts to get real weird. Like characters are just insta-killed, or they're like, yeah, teleporting all over the place, and it becomes like a whole different game. And it's really hard to manage, I think, so.
I've never had a campaign above level 10.
Yeah,
Period.
You're not missing much.
I played an 3rd edition epic level game, and it was weird as fuck. It was like, we were level 20 to start, and it was weird. It was just like a wacky experience. It was hard to keep things reasonable when like I was like a monk who could just like teleport anywhere. And it's like, that's weird. Like that's hard to, as a DM, I don't like it got out of control really quick. You're fighting like literally like gods.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're fair.
But we'll see. I'm really liking it thus far. I just got through the transition between Act 1 and Act 2 though, so we'll see.
Oh, nice.
We'll see how Act 2. I spent like, I'm the type of person, I do everything, like every single little thing in the game. It's like I don't leave to the next area in an RPG until I've talked to every single NPC. So now I'm transitioning to the next act, so we'll see. I don't know if it'll be as awesome, but I'm hopeful. What about you, Oz? What are you now that? Oh, I'll break. Would you like to break the news to the world?
I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's Sengoku's.
Yeah.
I have returned! Your god is back, baby!
I'll translate. For those of you who didn't know, his computer blew up. And he has been sad phone boy for quite a few months now. And now he has a PC again, so he joins the world of the gamers.
God has returned, and he's taking all of your toes!
So my question to you, what are you most excited about now that you are back in the world of the living?
Oh my god, making videos. It has been such a fucking nightmare to be, like, sitting in my room, being like, oh, that's a great video idea, let me go do that. Never mind. And it's such a fucking goddamn relief that I'm returned, and I also playing video games is pretty fun too. I'm excited to play some video games.
What
I'm
are you
excited for
like, what are you gonna play? Like, what's your
a project that just got revealed on our Discord? So if you're not there, you don't get to know it yet. But I'm pretty excited for that. Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I just received a copy of Starship Troopers
Nice.
from our lovely high priest, Wyatt. I was excited to play War Tales. Me and Phoenix have streamed that a couple times already, so technically this isn't my first time revealing that I have a computer again.
Right.
I had thought about Foxhole a lot while I was gone. So I'm probably
Really?
gonna dip back into that at some point or another. And at some point, it is inevitable. I will buckle and I will re-download Total Warhammer 3 and do an all dinosaur run.
Mm-hmm. Good call.
Or maybe a bear run.
I put that down, but I'm like, I'm sure they have, what the hell is it called? The conquest mode, like where you can play as any race in the old world.
Immortal.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure they have that. I'm sure they have that out now.
Immortal Empires.
But yeah, because that's my favorite game mode. Like the story modes are cool and everything, but I really like just having the whole world playing as, whatever race you want. That's where I get the most fun out of that game, so.
I hope you know if we ever play again, I'm doing some dumb shit run where I use only one like type of unit. Like bears. I'm gonna play as Kislev and do only bears.
I support it.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But it will be bears.
That's fair.
So yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Making videos. 7 Days to Die. The Fuck Squad. The huge.
What about you, Wyatt? You playing anything good right now? Uh-oh.
Go on.
I think we lost one.
Expound.
No.
Can you hear me? Hello?
No,
Yeah.
we can now, but you just cut off at
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying I had been writing and gaming, so I've been playing game-wise, I've been playing a lot more of like whether it's Crusader King 3 or I was playing Battle Brothers, and I've just been really getting into the strategy format. Just like I've always loved it, but like for some reason the last few days I've been hitting into that, and then in my own time while I'm like reading and writing, I've been still working on my own personal TTRPGs. One I've been really working on, thanks to everything, both of those things prior. I've been putting a hell of a lot of work into Coin Blades and revigorating it into something I feel really, really proud of. So I've been keeping myself pretty busy. Though next time you guys are playing War Tales, don't be afraid to let me know. I wouldn't mind us all playing together.
Absolutely. I was just doing it as a test because my computer is still having a hardware
issue. I understood what, and it was fine. I was writing, so you're fine. I was just saying, hey, just to let you know, if you guys ever want to record footage, I'm down. As well as
record War Tales. We never record War Tales. We just stream it.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, stream it. Okay, that works.
Welcome to join us for that, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been
whenever
doing,
Phoenix
strategy.
is available.
Oh, yeah. Strategy RPG, those are my favorite things ever. That's just my favorite thing.
I don't know what I'd say that's pretty close to my favorite. It's right up there. Like strategy games in general are my favorite, but
that's fair.
Yeah, strategy RPGs are pretty dope.
I've always
especially
been,
when they go ahead.
RTS guy.
RTS, hell yeah.
Supreme Commander, Command and Conquer. The lot.
It just requires too much concentration. Like when I'm like really in the mood, I love it, but it's hard to like I can't enjoy those casually. You know what I mean? Like I can't just sit back or like after a long day of work and be like, yeah, I'm gonna stress out for the next hour. Like that's what I'm in the mood for.
Well, I get you exactly where you're coming from, but the fun and the stress of the RTS does definitely shine through. I can respect that, but you can find the equal amount of stress in turn-based RPGs, especially if you have like named each of your characters after your friends, and you're playing like Darkest Dungeon, and you're like, God damn it, Oz, why are you not hitting anything? Sengoku, what the fuck? You just hit your own ally. Why is everyone dying? That for those who, that happened in Battle Brothers. Sengoku, well, he shot Phoenix in the back of the head. I need to record that more.
In fairness, you did all of this, and you just named us those people. We had no part in
their mistakes. Are your mistakes.
All right.
I hold you personally responsible.
Yeah, fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because if it's not your fault, then it's my fault. Fuck that.
No, I just find, like I said, the pacing in RTS is more stressful than the consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Like, consequences are less stressful to me than the actual, like, the speed in which I need to make these decisions.
I see. So you like snapshots of the Titanic, not to relive it. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, if I have to decide whether to hit the iceberg or not a big deal.
I like RTS because it does, like, I have real bad memory problems. So like making the decision is like, yeah, I can do that. But having to make multiple decisions all at the same time is like stretching my mind in the way that I like it. And if I fail, I'm like, all right, time to do it again. I don't have the quit button on me. If I'm playing an RTS, like there's a specific mission in Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars where like you're in the center and you don't have your mobile unit to deploy out your buildings, so you just gotta defend. And it's notoriously one of the hardest missions in all of RTS. And I fucking love that shit.
See, that's my specialty in RTS is turtle tactics. Like, I was always good at turtling in StarCraft. It's the offensive stuff I never enjoyed.
I see. So what you're saying is Zerg is perfect.
Well, no, opposite. Zerg is the worst. I was terrible with Zerg.
I know. Yeah.
Zerg were the worst. I was so bad with Zerg, but give me Protoss, like, like defense, or give me some,
I see. You love constructing those additional pylons.
Yeah, or putting some bunkers behind supply depots all day. All day, son.
I've always played with like the like a mix of the two, kind of. Because I turtle up until I get some kind of like long range artillery-ish unit or building. And then I take out key buildings and I rush.
I'm trying to think. I think the last one I played was the World War II one. Why can't I think of the name right now? The RTS, the World War II one. Company of Heroes.
Company of Heroes 1 or 2?
2.
3?
Well, technically there's 3 now, but yeah, 2 is the last
2 is the one that's in Stalingrad. And that one's free for those who want to play it. It's free on Steam.
It's real good. I really enjoy Company of Heroes. If you ever want to play, that's the one.
I'll play you.
Yeah.
I'll have one. I will say that apparently Company of Heroes 3, at least in its current state, not so good. Your people and their liberation not going so solid for the Allies right now. It's a buggy mess.
Yeah, I kind of heard that, and also like, yeah, I didn't see enough to make it seem like, oh, this is definitely like this is worlds better than Company of Heroes 2. And again, a sequel really has to do that. It has to be like, hey, everything you liked about that previous game, this does it so much better, or so much like more interestingly, and it's like, I wasn't really convinced it did, so I'm good. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, it had a nice color palette, but not enough innovation.
Oh yeah, that's true. It looks real good.
You know, it's a real fun strategy game that's kind of RTS, kind of, what would you call that?
I don't know.
Fighter?
You gotta say the name before you're just. You said it's a real.
I'm trying to think of what the category of this game. It's Conqueror's Blade.
I've heard a lot of
But
good
that
things
does
about Blade.
combine. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun until you get into like the politicking and all the houses and whatever. The base game, lots of fun. Territory Wars, if you can get into a decent house where it's not terrible, lots of fun.
I love how you have to say, if you get into a decent house, that's not terrible.
Well, I was in a house with two particular people that will not be named.
Perfectly
Did not
valid.
go well. But the rest of the game's a lot of fun. Playing like in Bandit Wars and all the other shit. And because you do get to deploy like a little force with you. You only get to command one unit at a time, but it's you as a hero with your unit, and you can use your units however you want. You can, get their units to charge you. You turtle up, and then your units charge their ass. It's great. I love it.
It's really cool from everything I've seen.
Prime strategy is you're a general on the battlefield commanding troops, and that solves Sengoku's problem of having to command too many troops because you only got one troop to manage.
He does make a point. It is pretty cool from what I've seen. It would be fun to get into. It's the main reason why I love Warband, Mountain Blade Warband so much. And the new sequel, Bannerlord, I love the shit out of it because you are, a troop on the ground that's leading the men, and you're getting to be involved as like a badass unit, but you need your people to be able to conquer. You can't like solo everything, so it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like RTS. Is just the just competitive is when I get like I kind of I'm not a young fast. I'm not fast. I'm good at making decisions, but I'm not good at doing it like at a million. Let's just say I was good at a lot of RTSs until I started playing Koreans, and then they made me feel like a complete idiot.
Half these players are Koreans.
I thought I was real good at fighting games up until I went to a tournament. No.
Yeah.
That's
made me feel like a clown.
Speaking of video games, how much time you guys get?
Hard segue. Your segue killed
Wyatt.
I
killed Wyatt.
Yeah.
You guys trying to take Wyatt to the hospital?
Sorry.
You good, bud?
Wrong windpipe.
Wrong one. There's a right one.
I don't fucking know.
It could go to the wrong pipe, I think.
Yeah.
There's
you can go into your lungs.
I don't know. I'm not a biologist.
Yeah, but he said wrong windpipe. Specifically
wrong
the one
pipe.
for just air.
I mean, gas at least comes out your butt. He could have.
Did you know that gas? Did you know that hippos fart through their mouths?
No.
So you guys want a tier list video game?
Yeah, your hard segue into it. Okay, let me pull up our list here. Okay, let's transition.
Would you kindly share your screen, my friend?
Oh yes, I can do that.
The double stream.
Yes, will hopefully not destroy me.
Alrighty then. Now we begin on our first one. How you guys feel about? How you guys feel about BioShock?
Okay, let's remember though, as all the mistakes we've made in tier lists is to pick out specific ones and not do every single one.
That's correct. I have taken that into account.
Yeah, okay. But BioShock. Is this the first BioShock? It looks like...
These are franchises.
Oh, it's all the franchise. Okay. No,
And they're not in
At least that's
alphabetical
what I'm
order. They
assuming.
just have them sporadic.
There's 2 Fallouts.
Well, we're only going to do the franchises.
Okay.
So you take the good with the bad.
I'm gonna say for BioShock, I think it is as a franchise, I think it is a very good series is where I would put it. I think the first 2 games were very interesting, very solid. I thought the lore was really cool. But as far as the actual, like, I wasn't super into the, the setting itself. And I think with BioShock Infinite, it went completely off the rails. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put it very good for me personally.
So I would actually go one step below to saying that it was a good series. You see, BioShock 1, it had spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil the surprises, but it had a surprise that fundamentally shifted a lot of people's interpretations of how games work, because most games have a forward A to B plot. And it was one of the first games to have a true surprise twist that makes perfect sense and felt like something you would see on a movie screen. And though today we can look at it and say, oh, well, it's a simple it's a simple twist that, it alters certain things. But ultimately, we've seen it a dozen times. Not in video games, we didn't back when it came out. It was one of the first that really went the next level. Yes, the combat is really solid. Yes, the story has some fun bits. Even though it doesn't tell you everything, it gives you enough to keep feeding you forward, like a rope to climb up. And the characters are engaging. I very much loved it. 2 had the natural progression where you play as a goddamn Big Daddy. That is fucking awesome. And anyone who says, oh, the second one's not as good as the first one, motherfucker, the story is really good in the first one. The second one really ramps it up and does a fantastic job and makes me really invested with what's going on and what the history of the Big Daddies is. And even, I will say the third one, though I wasn't having a great time about the middle of the game, like the whole middle section is boring as fuck, the beginning and the ending of BioShock Infinite are fantastic. But then, as always, the DLC rears its ugly head. And in its canon ending. Burial by Sea is one of the most annoying piece of shit endings to a fucking video game series I could have considered. It slaps you in the face for getting invested in the story, in the characters, in the events, and it makes out one of the main characters, it makes her come off lesser as a person, less investment. I loved her so much, and to see her in this light and to literally descend, like characteristically acting against her better interests and wants and needs, and instead fundamentally operating out of a place of frustration, ill repute, and just debasing herself. Unfortunately, all this greatness is bitten off by a really shit canon ending, and I have to place it in good.
Okay.
How about you, Oz?
I fucking loved the first BioShock game. That shit went so hard. The combat, fantastic. Having to take pictures while in combat. The enemies, some of the most terrifying enemies when you're a kid. And then you get the spider splicers and all the cool shit, the big daddies, and you see them oh yeah. And then, obviously, the story in that game is fucking amazing. It's one of the best twist plot endings in almost any video game that I can think of off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And the second one, the combat gets even fucking better.
Oh hell yeah.
You get to nail people to the wall with a rivet gun. You get to fucking drill people through with a goddamn giant drill. You get to have the plot line with I can't remember her name, but to save the little sisters, and you get to meet the big sisters, which are an entirely different kind of scary enemy.
Eleanor Lamb, just to let you know.
Yeah. The third game, whatever. I take it into account, and that's why it's not a masterpiece. I think it's great. I think it would be a disservice to put it anywhere below great because of how good the first two games were. Yeah, the third one was kind of a stinker, but I mean, would we consider Halo a stinker just because of the most recent games or the good feelings it brought us as kids? Probably so. But let's not use Halo. Let's forget I said that.
Yeah, it definitely affects it. I think, yeah, you have to look at the whole deal. Because that's what we're doing, right? We're looking at
First
franchises.
two were amazing.
Yeah, we're doing
And I think that
franchises, unfortunately.
I'm very biased towards the first two. And I do take into account that third game. Infinite was sucky, had a not great ending, and the DLC was pretty disappointing. But I just can't put it anywhere below great because of how much fun I had playing those first two games.
Hey, valid, man.
Well, you're at great, and, you know, Wyatt's at good. And I'm at very good, so I think very good is the place for it.
Yeah, I think very good is acceptable.
Correct.
So, I was right.
Listen here, you fuck. Pick a goddamn game.
Well, I'm gonna pick the game the series that I can't shut up about. It seems like I'm always talking about it. But I'm gonna have to go with Fallout. Because I've been in love with Fallout because of the lore and the setting of that game. It's just so good, so compelling. There's something about like just the way that it's set in like this like 1940s, like, you know, kind of throwback steampunk kind of post-apocalyptic. It's got all the right things for me, and I really love the series. I used to play the original games. Fallout 3 obviously changed everything. Fallout New Vegas, which is probably, like, story-wise, my favorite, hands down. And even Fallout 4, which had a lot of problems, but I still really, really enjoyed it. So for me, the Fallout franchise, I'd have to put in the amazing category.
You're forgetting one giant red mark.
What are you talking about? I don't know. Fallout 4 is the last of the new one, right?
Unfortunately, we do not live in a parallel dimension. The Riders of the Rohirrim are not coming to wipe out that game from existing. Sadly, the armies of Sauron are coming, and you know it.
Okay, let me acknowledge Fallout 76. Not great. Not a huge fan. Was it an abomination? No, but I think the reason why it was so disappointing is because there was so much missed opportunity. To me, it's my favorite video game series because of what the points it hits, and that's why I would never call it a masterpiece, because it has a big flaw, which is 76 to me. So yeah, I'd be willing to compromise it down to great, but I think it's amazing.
We'll see where it ends up. I've got some feelings about 76.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is I'll be the first to admit that, because I played and beat every single Fallout game, and I have barely even touched 76. Just because I knew...
You even played Fallout Tactics in Texas?
Yeah, but even when they announced 76, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. Which is okay, it's just not the game for me, you know? It's like when Fortnite came out, I'm just like, oh, this just isn't for me. Enjoy this 10-year-old. But that's my opinion, and go ahead and cast dispersions at my favorite series. What will?
Well,
I was gonna say, Oz, you had some opinions.
I do. Look, I really liked Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was a lot of fun to play. I played it almost directly after I had played Borderlands until I was sick of it. And the story in Fallout is great. And the gun combat, man, did I abuse the VAT system. Once you get that, it's like, why would you do anything else? It's so anyways. Fallout 3, great. Fallout New Vegas, lots of fun. I loved playing that one when I was at my friend Jacob's house. Fallout 4, I didn't play too much. I played it once at my friend's house. And I mostly just messed around with like the crafting building area. Because the combat almost never changes. In every Fallout game I played, it's pretty much the same, except for the first ones, because I know those are like way different. Weirdly, the Fallout game I have the most time with is Shelter.
That's because you had no computer.
No. This was before even that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a Shelter with everyone max stats. I would like religiously get on to do it. Before I met you. However, Fallout 76 is such a piece of shit disgrace to any video game series. One, they just straight took the code from a different Fallout game, not meant for multiplayer, and we're like, yeah, we can just make this multiplayer, which caused so many problems. It was basically unfunctioning for like the first 3 months. And then when they got it functioning, instead of just releasing a patch, they were like, but what if you bought our subscription program so you could play the actually working version of this game? What the fuck do you mean? And then they did the fucking goddamn MOBA thing where they released expansions. Where it's like, oh, but no, trust me, there's expansion. Expansion. No, we don't want your fucking expansion. I want a fucking working game. It's bad. Fucking bad. And it sucks that like Fallout as a series was just scorned by one game. But anytime I think of Fallout, I do not think of 3, I don't think of New Vegas, and I don't think of 4. I think of how much I hate 76 and its shitty microtransaction, its shitty business practices, and its shitty game as a whole. Go on. What?
Oh, my turn? Okay. No, I can definitely respect your hatred. As a person that's played all of them except for Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics, I can say safely that Fallout is an amazing series. It is a beloved icon. Icon of gaming is not exactly a title I'm going to throw out lightly, but it really, when you think of post-apocalyptic and you think of video games, like for most average people, they think of the style and capability and setting of Fallout. Even though there's many amazing apocalyptic focus games, the style and aesthetic of Fallout is so unique. The way that it is, in my opinion, a far better RPG setting. I'm about to make an enemy in this, than Elder Scrolls. It really plays well to the special system. It's a lot of fun, and the engagement of the characters, a blast to do. 1 is an amazing game with, in my opinion, the coolest fucking antagonist in any fucking video game. I mean that wholeheartedly. For those who haven't played Fallout 1, give it a goddamn shot. The main villain, you'll kind of see his point. But he's also not good, and it's bad. Very bad. But you see his point. That's all I gotta say. But it's great when you can rationalize a villain's perspective. And why he comes to the decision he does involving mutants is really, really cool. 2, I haven't gotten to play, like I said. But 3 was one of the first games I played on the 360. A lot of fun. Definitely, I have a personal connection more to Fallout 3 than Fallout New Vegas, though Fallout New Vegas is the most replayed game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely replayable. There's so much you can do with it. Really cool. Fallout 4, it was actually my first video ever on YouTube is from when Fallout 4 came out. The day it came out, I was fighting the fucking queen, the bug queen or whatever the fuck it was, the mud crab queen.
Mm-hmm.
And my footage of just shooting her with a fucking laser gun. It was a fun, solid game, and I played it from beginning to end and had a good time. I didn't really feel like picking it up and replaying it. And then 76. I have never bought a copy of 76.
No, me neither.
Someone handed it to me for free. At GameStop. When I was working there, someone came in and said, and this is an actual engagement I had with one of our regulars, said, they fucked it up. I spent $100 to waste my fucking time. I've already used the codes and everything. Here's a worthless disc. I know you won't give me much back for it. I said, oh, we'll still give you like $30. And he says, it's not worth me taking money from you. I want you to play this yourself. Because I know you said you haven't played it yet. He handed it to me to play this game, to see what it's like. I loaded it, a free copy. I did not find a single minute of joy over the course of a 5-hour period. I put it down. Next time I saw him, I said, wow, that was a real piece of shit. And he said, oh yeah, it's a piece of fucking shit, right? And you want to know the crazy part is, I proceeded to have more returns and more people not giving it for free, but being like, oh, I get $30 for a $60 game, and that's GameStop's issue. I don't give a shit about that. But they just kept coming and coming, like it was fucking spring break or some shit. Just people coming into the door, and it was awful. I decided, you know what? I'll give it another try. And it was worse than the first time I played it. Like, what I'm saying worse, like, characters' models were literally stretching. Whenever someone got out of a fucking one of the suits, the armor, their body was still in the shape and bends of as though they are inside the armor. Enemies just wouldn't die if you shot them. I would shoot somebody and run out of ammo, and their health would not remove. So at first I thought, oh, that's a real tough enemy. No, I went back to the area, not even a level higher, and I killed them in one hit. You know, it'd just be impossible to kill. So yeah, it was a piece of shit. And then you wait like 3 or 4 months, and then they introduce Fallout First, a subscription service for the game where you spend $100 to have a server. Yes. For those who know, servers normally cost, even if you just have your friends, bear in mind, the most amount of people you can have in one of these servers is 24 fucking players. On the average service, 16 players, as I've been a person who've ran a server, 16 players in a game larger than New Vegas was about $30. And that came with extra features. This one came with a box for everyone to load their stuff into so that they can not worry about it being disappeared or are gone. Fallout 76 is a piece of shit that should be remembered, but I do not believe that the horrible tarnishment has brought it to worthless. I believe that it is a very good video game series, but all of the mess that happened with 76, the people who actually got mold, the people who were dealing with the fact that they spent $300 for the extra stuff, but that's not the game. That's not the game. That's the extra stuff. The game that was given today is a pile of shit years after it came out. Cancer. So yeah, very good series. Good stuff.
Yeah, see, for me, like I said in the chat, I consider, like, I know it's part of the franchise, but it's like throwing Mario Tennis in with the Mario Brothers games. It's just it's a totally different game. For me, it's like I like the Elder Scrolls games, but as soon as Elder Scrolls Online came out, I knew I wasn't gonna like it. So just like
thing about
I don't even consider it. I don't even consider Elder Scrolls Online to be an Elder Scrolls game for me.
Well, the fun thing about that is Elder Scrolls Online was made by the overarching company of ZeniMax as opposed to Bethesda directly.
Mm-hmm.
The difference here is Fallout 76 was made directly by Bethesda. Like, their actual hands, their full team was on it. And they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's all I gotta say.
I think.
Okay, go ahead.
I think 76, like, not counted. This is a great series.
Yes.
76 counted. Maybe bad's too far, but like it brings it down to decent.
Oh wow! It hurt you. It hurt you.
It's a bad look. I have a lot of issues with microtransactions in video games, and releasing unfinished video games or shitty coded video games pisses me off more than anything. Fallout 76 ticked all those boxes.
Selling a paint color. Fallout 76 sold a paint color for $25. What? The color.
The best part about Fallout 76 was
$25.
Is that I got to hear for a couple months, "Take me home,
country road,"
because everyone loved that trailer and that song. But man, that game came out and it was such a giant fall from grace.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real fall out.
It would be like if we, people who like Bruno Mars watched Bruno Mars for years, and then as an 80-year-old he came back out and he performed really shittily, like possibly the worst he's ever performed or anyone's ever performed. And it's like, well, I mean, the old stuff was good, but man, that's rough. Or if like someone you really treasured as a celebrity came out and just said some racist shit, and you're like,
that's what I was gonna say. Is like
you anymore.
He just came out with all this good stuff and just said, and that's why I feel that blank blank blank, and you're like, what?
I just think that the 76 can't be one game in a series where it's, let's see, how many do we have here? That's 3, 4, 5, 6 games. One really bad out of 6 can't make a game make a series a bad.
You know series. How I know Fallout 76 is as bad as you're trying to make it not sound?
I'm not saying 76.
All of us acknowledged Infinite. All of us were like, yeah, 1 and 2, fantastic games. Infinite, not so great. You actively tried to not talk about 76. You were like, what game? You see, when you're describing a franchise to someone, you're like, oh, you should pick up the Fallout franchise, or oh, you should pick up the BioShock franchise. Anytime you do that, you're going to have to tell them about the franchise. With Fallout, you have to go, you should play every game except 76. If you play 76, you will not like Fallout anymore.
See, this is why I'm worried about talking about Mass Effect, and it makes me sad.
No, go on!
Oh, we will. I'm sure we will.
But I get your points. I just don't allow it to taint the whole series. But to say it's
Well,
like
it still ends up in
it's
very good.
why? What did you say?
I said decent. You
Right.
said amazing. Wyatt said very good.
So very good. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it winds up next to Bioshock, which is, putting
I
Fallout
feel that's
76 up
fair.
there makes me sick, but
Hey, if Bioshock Infinite's in very good too, so and they had
Yeah, I
they had
don't
half
mind
the
that.
amount of games, so
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of weighs out.
Mhm.
That
Okay.
Fallout 76 was just that bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wyatt,
Fallout 76 was so bad.
Wyatt, what's the choice for you of the
So
series?
I'm gonna go with a safe bet before my choice is Mass Effect. I'm gonna go with Red Dead motherfucking Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when it came out, I had to do everything to justify to my mom. This is an M-rated game, and I know that. But please, I want to play Red Dead. It looks cool. I've seen the commercials. I showed her the Game Informer magazine all the fucking time. And you know what she did? It was the one thing I asked for. She let me go out and get it. She didn't buy it for me. She let me make the goddamn money and get it myself. And I did. And it was as awesome as I wanted it to fucking be. Oh my God. A main character who's a fucking country fried badass. Man, John motherfucking Marston. And if you say it any other way, you're a fucking loon. John is a fantastic protagonist because he's not perfect. He's not special. He is, and anything, a terrible man with a past trying to live as a new person, as making right with the wrongs. But he can't do that. He has to be brought back to the past by the Pinkertons and forced to hunt down his old gang who, while this is happening, the Pinkertons are holding his family hostage. Basically saying, you find them or we'll deal with your fucking family. And from there, we get to follow John all across a modified version of Armadillo in Oklahoma and Mexico. And we get to like experience these three amazing regions, each with its own music as you enter into the region that captures your imagination. Many different animals to hunt. Like, you can go hunting, just go hunting in this fucking game, and there's a whole hunting mechanic just because it can be. You fucking like skin and shit. You're following the trails of these old gang members. It is so goddamn fun. The story is riveting, but it's also extremely bittersweet. And you're just like, you're following along, and your heart weeps for these characters, these people who live in this broken, burnout land as the West is dying, as it's based in 1911. The West is at its end. Everything's coming to a fault, and it mirrors the main character's quest as he's buying to, like the people who live here, they're fighting for this hope, but in truth, industrialization is taking away their way of life. And so you see these beautiful mirrors for these characters that leads to an amazingly heartfelt conclusion that affected me very dearly. And I didn't think anything could top it. When I saw that Red Dead Redemption 2 was a thing, I gotta say, I wasn't really interested. I looked at it and I said, I don't know if I want this. This here Fallout 76, though, and I mean this is a literally true story. I was like, Tanner's won Fallout 76. Maybe we could play that together. Because they're coming out in the same month, just 20 days away from each other. Okay, let me think of what I'm gonna do. My birthday strolls around. Hey, Bubba, Mom and I already bought you your copy of Red Dead Redemption 2. We paid for it in full. And I was looking at them as like, oh. And Mom was like, that's not what he wanted, was it? And I said, no, Mom, I played Red Dead when I was young. I'll happily, I want to do this. And I was like, okay, let me see what it's like. Because my brother knew how much I loved Red Dead. So he talked with Mom, and this is something they got for me. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I don't know if I like the new character they have. I don't know if anyone could live up to the awesomeness of John Marston. And I can tell you right now, with fucking tears in my eyes, that Arthur Morgan of Red Dead Redemption 2 is my favorite protagonist from any fucking video game. I went, and this is true because at this time, I did not have a house. Okay, I was living on people's couches. I wasn't doing so good. Things were really shit right now. And while this was happening, I was sleeping on one of my friends' couches and playing Red Dead Redemption between work and shifts. And it was a way for me to escape. I literally went to my family and I gave them a big hug as tears were in my eyes, saying, I thank you for this. This allowed me to push past a lot of the really awful shit that was going on around with the house and everything and the fire. And it allowed me to have a genuine escape. And my friend would sit there and I'd offer, do you want to play? And they were like, no. You guys might know that I won't say who they are directly, but they were sitting there. They're like, yeah, and just watch it. And the two of us were going through this adventure day after day, seeing the life of Arthur Morgan and just seeing this man with this pure self-hatred, just looking at him. And he felt that he was gross. He was disgusting. But at the core of it, he was a good person. He was an amazing artist. To see how they gave this character such deep complexity, I was moved. I am moved. As soon as it was over, with everything that happens, and I'm not going to spoil, I felt compulsed to keep being involved. I felt that sensation of freedom, a game that really gave you the feeling of loneliness, but at the same time showed you the value of the people around you. So instead of just playing, I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to try stuff out. And less than a few months later, and this is truth, it's when we all started really getting to talk to each other, because of COVID. That COVID changed a lot of things. And so it was really cool. It was really cool. And that's why, for me, those two games are a genuine masterpiece. What are your thoughts? If they're different, that's okay. What's emotionally touching for me does not have to be the same way for y'all.
Well, I'll go because mine is it's tricky for me because, like, when I played the first Red Dead, it was easily my favorite video game at the time that I played. I loved it. Uh-huh. It was a lot of fun. I felt like, John Marston was like Clint Eastwood's character, just sort of like in all those spaghetti westerns. It felt just great.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I really loved the setting. I loved the story. I loved everything about it. And when they announced Red Dead 2, I was super excited about it. But there was something that happened, and I think this is more speaking to me than speaking to the game, where I lost interest in the series somehow. That when I played it, it just didn't capture me. And it's weird because it did everything right. But it just didn't, it didn't push my buttons the way the first one did. It didn't draw me in the same way. And I think part of that is just the overhype of it. Because I played it.
That's fair.
I played it I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait on this. I don't need to get it right away. So when I played it, it was about a year after it came out. So everyone was talking it up like this is the greatest thing ever, and it really, I think, changed my opinion of it. So while I think the first one was amazing, for me the third one was very good. It was a good game and everything, but it's it was missing something, and I think that has more to do with me than the game. And I think that's the same thing I have with all Rockstar games. It's when I played
That's fair.
Grand Theft Auto 5, I didn't like it nearly as much as I liked Grand Theft Auto 4. But like,
Oh yeah.
But if you look at it, it's like it's got way more stuff, right? It's like, why doesn't it? It's just something about the story just didn't gel with me, and maybe it's because I didn't put the time, like you did in Red Dead 2, to really get into who, the character is and really understand it. Because with John Marston, you don't need to really understand him, because he's on the surface a really badass guy, and he's got layers. But on the surface, it's just like, if you put Arthur and John beside each other, John's the cooler guy, just right at the gate, right? I think
I will not deny that. I will not deny that.
You just gotta dig deep, I think, for this character to really get it. But when you're just looking at them on the surface, I think that's the problem. So, my opinion's, like I said, a little bit tainted because I don't think I gave Red Dead 2 the fair shake that it deserves.
Hey, fair enough.
Yeah. I'll leave it with I'll give it a great for the whole series.
I'm down with that. What are your thoughts, Oz?
I think the second game is really good. It's got a lot of really good like themes going on with personal, stuff. The actual like work that went into the environment of that game, like groundbreaking. You can watch someone actually build a railroad.
Yes, it is the most expensive video game ever made. There's so much in it. You're right.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I played Gun.
Gun is great.
And every time I play Red Dead Redemption 1, I just think, man, I could be playing Gun right now. And it's probably because I was more I did like westerns. My dad really liked westerns when I was growing up, and I liked western. Gun takes a lot of its names from western. I like the story. It's Gun is a really great video game. And Red Dead 1 falls just short of Gun. So
fair, I can respect
balancing that out. I think the franchise is very good, but it's just that first game. It's not Gun.
No, it's not.
And I know Gun. Like people like if you've played Gun, it's not like populated. It's not like it is very much so. But that shit was on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That was years ago. Not even years. That was decades ago. And that game was a lot of fun. It had the really cool... It almost had every mechanic that Red Dead had, and then some. I don't know. It's just... I want to put it higher. I want to put it up at amazing or great, but I just think of Gun whenever I think of the original Red Dead.
Do we not have to also include Red Dead Revolver?
I mean, we can if
we have to. Well, it's the Fallout 76 of Red Dead.
Well, I would say as a person who played Red Dead Revolver, that it's not that bad. It's all right. It's a classic, point shooter, and you run around and shoot motherfuckers without looking down the scope. You just watch a reticle as you're running around and shoot motherfuckers. It's I wouldn't say it's a good game. I'd say it's all right.
Yeah, I'd say it's a decent game.
It was a decent game for the time. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I will bump it up from very good to great because that DLC goes hard.
Oh yeah. Undead motherfucking nightmare. So
yeah, that's some good DLC.
Good. And you want to know the best part of that DLC? The team had less than 9 months because they didn't know that it was something they were going to do. So everything you experience in the game, how awesome it is, the team, vocal work, creation, development, all of it was done in less than 9 months. And that just makes that DLC even fucking crazy cooler because they were like, you know what? Let's fucking do this. Hey, it's fucking crazy. I love it.
But now, not you know what? I might bump it back down because now I'm feeling like Gun could have had a deal now.
So are we putting
That
it
was
in,
an undead gun mare.
were we putting it in great then?
I would
What did
be
you
happy if it's
say?
in great.
I
said great,
said great as well. And
so
then
it'd
he
be
said,
amazing.
I said masterpiece, so if it's great, it's okay.
yeah, because it's 2 and then 1, so it's not a
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am happy
Find a
with.
balance, but you round up.
Yeah.
You don't round up. Get out of here. You're just making stuff
Shut
up.
the fuck up and round up, motherfucker.
No.
It's time for
I'm in
Woody's roundup.
control. Speaking of which,
What'd you
Oz,
say?
which game? I said I'm in control.
Oh.
Which game would you like to put on the chopping block? Other than Roblox.
How about let's do let's do the Doom franchise.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Doom has
Okay.
been a part of my life for an extremely long time. Doom, I played the original Doom on an old computer my grandpa had. And that shit was legendary. That was a lot of fun, and I will never forget the time I spent doing that. And then I skipped to Doom 2. I didn't get to play that one until way later in life. But Doom 3 goes hard. And that stupid fucking Doom like 3D game that's kind of Doom, kind of not.
Which one is that?
I think it is called Doom 3D.
Doom 3D. It came out sometime in the early 2000s, and it was one of the first games to have dynamic lighting. So it was really revolutionary in that aspect.
Super cool, and in a way, it kind of gave me like a precursor to Dead Space vibes. Not really,
yeah,
but kind of.
That's fair. I get what I can tell where you're coming from.
It was a lot of fun. And then the new Dooms came out.
Yeah.
And if you could have like music kick in behind me when that that shit is such a goddamn blast. I will say, I do have a specific terrible, awful memory with the first Doom, not Eternal, but the first new Doom. And that's I ate a giant edible, and I was like, I can play Doom. Never do that ever. And
That
no,
sounds
look at me.
horrifying.
Never ever play Doom after eating an edible. I was so absolutely gutter fucked. Oh my god. And then Eternal is fucking amazing. Eternal is so much fun. Just non-stop bloodshed, an even better soundtrack, which after the first one was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Doom is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be I think Wyatt. I think Wyatt goes after me. I'm trying to remember the order that we're doing this in, but I keep forgetting it.
Just whenever you're done, just say a name, and that person will go.
That makes
Phoenix.
Sense. That's here.
All right, Wyatt.
I'll be very quiet. Mongolian choir throat singing metal. Where do they consider these fucking amazingness that makes up the soundtrack for Eternal? It's so fucking sick. The beats are clean as hell. The fucking style, the aesthetic, the movement of the music, the combat, so fucking clean. 2016, a blast through the ass. Like that really, it really returned things to form. Beautiful game. The movie sucked. Doom movie, shit.
What are you talking about? The Rock? How dare you?
Yeah, pile of shit. Carl Urban's in that movie, and he couldn't save it. Anyway, fun thing. That's one of the last movies, if not the last movie, that The Rock legally in his scripts allowed himself to be the villain. Because of course he did.
He's technically the protagonist, though, like as well.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing, ain't it? Yeah. But yeah, I did not grow up with the other Dooms. I never played any of them. I only got to play Doom 2016 and then Eternal. Yeah. Going off of those two and what I do know, I would say that it is at the very least great because holy shit. But I don't know if I can give an accurate representation because I never grew up with the rest of the series. But for now, I'll say that my opinion is that it's a great series. If they are anything, you know, I've watched gameplay and they look like for their time fucking cool. And still to this day, you could have fun. It looks like you could have fun playing those old arcade games. So I don't mind.
Oh yeah. I used to play those all the time with a couple friends.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
And interesting thing about the old Dooms, they still have one of the most active modding communities.
I believe it. I saw this mod where you can like mod in like entire like aesthetics houses, and they have still have interesting horror games that they make out of it. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sengoku.
Yeah.
See, I'm the polar opposite of Wyatt in that I've never played a new Doom game. I only played the old ones.
You haven't played Eternal?
No.
Or 2016?
No, because I don't.
Dude, you missed out.
It's not my type of game at all. Like it's just I'm not into FPSs. I'm not into that style. So it's just like it seems though it's really like the music and the setting and everything. It seems like they're doing it right. It just isn't my jam anymore. Whereas when I first played the Doom games, it was like you have to play the Doom games. Like
that was the style, like, wasn't it?
I played Wolfenstein, I played Doom. It's like because you had to, because it was the only thing. It was the coolest thing. Like that was like that style of game, right? So I have a lot of love for the Doom games 1 and 2, because I played so much of them.
Well, you're saying you never played the third one where you save as Rabbit?
No, because that one came out in like 2004 or something. So I wasn't like it. Just for me, that was like I wasn't into that type of game anymore. You know,
fair enough.
And it's just not my style of game. But I love the first two a lot. It's kind of like I'm not gonna play the new Wolfenstein games, even though a lot of people say it's like, oh, this game's a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah, it's just not. You know,
not your style.
Yeah, I liked the time I had with those ones, but yeah. So I'm gonna go on the flip side of Wyatt and just say like, yeah. Like, I think they're good, but I don't know the new ones. But the music's great. The visuals are great. Everything seems like it's good. It's just not my type of game. But
where are you putting it?
I'll put it like very good. Just because I can't speak to the new one. So it ends
up at great?
Yeah. Well, what did you say?
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
So yeah, great.
And the attention to detail in that, like, in the, like, home world, the, like, gate world in Eternal, where, like, you could go and read books, and it was all people who were deeply affected by Doom. Like, Markiplier's dad has a book in that game. All the, like, Easter eggs. Doom, as, like, a beginning franchise, had, like, such a high amount of secrets that it inspired games to include more Easter eggs going forward. Yeah.
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire, yeah.
Yeah, he just threw that up.
I just put Fallout 76 in horrible just because that's where it belongs.
All right, Sengoku.
I'll pick one that I myself find very controversial. Which is the Assassin's Creed games.
So
okay.
Glad you just said that.
Because I am very torn with the Assassin's Creed games. I loved the first and second game like religiously. I thought they were amazing games. I love the setting. Um, it hit my little Italian heart just perfectly. I thought it was just really well done. I thought it was a really unique game, really interesting. Um, and then the next one I played was Black Flag, and I thought that game was dope. I'd still argue it's easily one of the best pirate games of all time. Um, it's a lot of fun as long as you're not on land. As soon as you're on land, it's just a shitty Assassin's Creed. It's not a great Assassin's Creed game. Um, and then they kept coming out with what seemed to be like the same game, Assassin's Creed 3, which when it first came out was buggy as shit. A lot of people hated on it, so I never really gave it a chance. And then when I did play it, it was kind of like, once again, it was just not, I just wasn't into it that much. And then they did, set it in like London, and I was set it in Egypt, and I was like, man, none of these settings are really hitting it with me. What I'd love is if they set it in like Rome, like ancient Rome, that would be really like a lot of fun. And then they came out with the game where they set it in Greece, and I was like, oh, this is basically the game I always wanted. And I played it, and I fucking hated it. Like, I hated it so much. And it's exactly what I asked for. And it was really obvious to me at that point that it's just like the Assassin's Creed games are just played out as shit. Like, I just had no interest in them anymore. So even when they came out with the Viking, I was like, this is exactly the type of game I want to play, but it's an Assassin's Creed game, so I know I'm not gonna like enjoy it. So for me, it's like a really tricky series because like half of the games were easily some of my favorite games, but I don't think it ever really evolved or grew. I think they just kept pumping out the same game with like a little bit, like a little tweak here. And I just think it's really played out. So for me, it's like I'd put it like decent because the balancing act of all of it, it's kind of like it's tricky for me because I just that's why I think it's a very controversial one for me because I loved it a lot and then I hated it a lot. Oz, what do you feel?
The first Assassin's Creed game was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun. I really liked the combat in that game. But there was a problem with it. And we'll come back to that. And the second Assassin's Creed game, combat, not as much fun. Weird. How did they fuck it up? It was really good in the first game. But the same problem happened. And then I played the third one, and it was a buggy piece of shit, and I was like, oh, they're never going to fix this problem. The whole point of Assassin's Creed was like a seamless, very good parkour simulator where you get to go around and assassinate people smoothly, and that never fucking happens. It is such a buggy, like, pathing garbage game. What the fuck, dude? I wanted to love Assassin's Creed because I love stealth games. I've loved Metal Gear since I've been able to game.
Mm-hmm.
I have loved stealth games. Assassin's Creed is such a buggy, shit-infested pile of garbage pathing. Really bad. Yeah. Really, really bad.
I think also it was forgivable in the first couple because all games were like that. Like all games were really like kind of like they didn't blend well. And then
I played 2 Black Flag and then I stopped.
Yeah, but then after that when they kept doing it, it's like, oh, but games are better now, and they just never got better.
Like the same shitty pathing consistently.
Yeah.
And you'd go to, oh, I want to grab that ledge. I'm going to push the thumbstick that exact direction and press. No, you're going to grab the ground. And you're going to shake your ass in front of the guy you're trying to assassinate. No!
Yeah.
I'll go play fucking Dishonored. Fuck you.
No, how dare you.
Yeah, I put it in, maybe not really bad, but bad at the very max. Because man, did it never deliver on that fucking promise that it had in the very goddamn title.
Yeah.
What?
So I first played it, the first Assassin's Creed on my cousin's Xbox 360, and I was like, the very first one. First time I played it, I did not have a good time. I was like, oh man, this parkour sucks. I jumped off the wrong way and assassinated the wrong person. Jesus Christ. And I was not having a good time. But I stuck it out, played through the whole game, and I beat it. And that ending happened, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
So I wasn't having a blast, but then my friend was like, hey, because by this time I finally got a 360 years later, and was like, hey, here is Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And I was like, I don't. The first one was fucking weird. Try these ones; these are really freaking cool. I played them, and I was like, oh my god, Ezio is the coolest fucking protagonist ever. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
This again, a year before I knew who the fuck John Marston was.
Right.
And I was like, he's suave, he's swashbuckling, he's very cool. And I grew to love Ezio Auditore da Firenze. And I would going around La Roma and in Venice and Florence and having a good fucking time. I was having a great time swoopala-doopalin and schmoopalin. I just was losing myself in like the lore and the reality and the history, not just in the world game, but the learning about these locations. It helped me with a lot of my fascination with the aesthetic. And then Assassin's Creed Revelation came out, and this is true, is one of my most played games ever. I got that game, and I had seen it in Game Informer for such a long time, and I was like, Mom, it's Assassin's Creed. Can I get it? And this was one of the few games she said, all right. She read the back of it and was like, all right, there's no sex in it. Okay, I'll buy this one. And I was like, yes! And then I played it, and it was everything I wanted it to be. Old man Ezio going around Constantinople and fucking Opal. Some of the most amazing like movements, like in video games. Not the parkour. Don't worry. I'm talking about the characters' reactions, their mannerisms. The fact that you could have your own League of Assassins, get to customize. I spent hours in the customization, not just for Ezio's outfit, because you can do the different dye patterns. You can do those dye patterns for your assassins, and you can send them on assassins missions. You can have them orchestrated, and you can build little stories that affect the characters that are in your party as you level them up, but also they gain benefits and events based off of the things you sent them to go deal with. So I was like, I'm going to have this assassin. She is going to go to Germany, and she's going to start, sleeping with this duchess. She's going to lure her and get her away from her husband. Ooh, that's going to be fun. And just like different shit like that. And like it built these fun little tales. And then if your assassin dies fighting by your side, when you call them down and they die in the field of battle, you can requiescat in pace. You can say goodbye to them. I had not seen that in video games, where you can literally, if your men die, you don't just walk past them. You actually like took a moment and came up to them, and you sent them on their way. Something we see him doing all the time to those who pass that he kills, but now it's someone who is close, a friend, a companion who had been with him while he is in Constantinople. And it was like, holy shit, my mind was next level blown. Man, Assassin's Creed 3 fucking pissed me off. I hate that game actively, because I go from the awesomeness that made me fall in love with not just Italy, but also the beauty of Constantinople, learning about the Hagia Sophia. I actually, because I found it, I know, showing how much of a loser I am, because I found the location in the game, I wrote a paper because I thought the history of the Hagia Sophia, the many burnings, the why it like has a subtle lean to it. I found all that really fucking cool, and I submitted it, and I got an okay grade. Who gives a shit?
You based all of it on a video game.
Because that was the kind of mindset I had, obviously.
Don't worry about it.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, man, man, Connor sucks.
Yeah.
God damn it, Ezio. Where the fuck do you go? Now I got left is this fucking like and then Desmond was a cool. I unlike other people, especially because of Revelations, I actually sympathized with Desmond, though most people may not like Desmond, and I can understand why. That one, I liked his addition. I thought he was an all right character, especially because Revelation opened up a lot of things about his childhood. Man, in 3, he fucking blows. Like, I was looking at him like, to think I stood up for you. Go fuck yourself. And then 4. I love that it is such a great pirate game. All other pirate games were trying to be Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
Like if you ever looked into it, they were just taking their ideas and it's like, good, steal from them. And then Assassin's Creed stole from themselves from fucking Rogue, and Rogue was all right. It wasn't great.
Let's not pretend like that exists. That game literally existed for I forget what platform because it couldn't do Black Flag, so they just made it for like a separate console or something. It was bad.
Black Flag was, I'm sorry, that one was on 360, I thought. I played Rogue on there.
That's what I mean, but I think it was released specifically for a console.
Oh, and then they ported it over. I thought it was okay. Shay, I like Shay. He's an all right character, a character that goes towards the Templars because of the selfishness of the whatever. I get where you're coming from, though. But I'd also feel exactly where you're coming from in that there started to be this burnout. Once it hit after 4, I never got Unity. I never got the one that takes place in London.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bayek, the character from Origins. I was never invested in what was going on, even though, you can like engage with several different kinds of characters and it looked really cool. I was just like, this isn't like how I want to play Assassin's Creed. And then my brother was, he got Assassin's Creed, what was it? The Greek one. The one where you're like, Odyssey, that's it.
I know, because I have it's the last physical copy of a game I ever had because a friend bought it. Because
fair enough.
Like Oz, his computer had blown up and he didn't have, so he's like, I'm going to come over and play this game with you. And we played about like 45 minutes and then never touched the game again.
I can get that. I played like a few hours of it. I tried to get through it. I tried both of them. I played Alexios and I played Cassandra. And it wasn't my vibe. That's all I gotta say about that one. And so when Assassin's Creed, like the side stories came out, I was actually kind of like, okay, China, India, Russia, I'll give these a shot. Oh, these aren't great either. Okay, well, whatever. Move on past those, I guess. Cool characters, but not a fun game. And so then I saw Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was like, okay, this is the last chance, the Assassin's Creed series to I'll give it a shot. I got it. I got it because I worked at GameStop when it came out. I just took home a pre-owned copy. After there's enough pre-owned copies, we can rent them out of the book and we can, take them for like 7 days and, go through it. And then we can see what it's like, because they want us to know what the modern games are like, what's going on. And so I gave it a shot. I really enjoyed getting to customize my own Jomsviking.
Mm-hmm. I
enjoyed building my base, and the raid anywhere function's really cool in a video game. I wish more. I mean, all it showed me is that there should definitely be another Viking game.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be done by these people, because I was playing it and I'm like, so I get to dual wield spears, or I can Jörgsturtle. I can literally have 2 shields and beat people to death with shields. What? I don't care. There's Ubba. There's the Ericssons. I don't give a shit. Go ahead.
The problem at that point was it was an Assassin's Creed game. Right?
Yeah,
that's the problem. Is the settings are really cool, but it's an Assassin's Creed game. It's like I was saying about Black Flag, is I loved Black Flag, but then you'd go to an island and it's like, oh yeah, this is an Assassin's Creed game, and like I'm in this shitty shanty town running around on these janky roofs, and it's like I just want to be on the sea, man. Because as soon as you get in your boat, it's not an Assassin's Creed game. It's a pirate game.
Is not. It's a pirate game.
All the cool stuff from that point out about Assassin's Creed was like character customization and cool side things that have nothing to do with assassinating people.
which is why I've come to a possible conclusion. So you ever heard of the thing where, like, for sequels for movies, they take the script sometimes, especially with anime movies, and they just use a random script and then slap on recognizable characters from the main series.
Star Wars, yeah.
I feel that yes. Nice. I feel that's kind of what happened to Assassin's Creed. Is it has the right paint job, but this feels like it feels like Assassin's Creed in name only. Like, this is not like they had to shoehorn in Basim, and like, even though yes, the Vikings definitely went to Constantinople and they had individuals, you had your Varangians and you had your tradesmen who were traveling all across, and they were just like, oh, let's just have a Viking hanging out with some Middle Eastern dudes, and the Middle Eastern dudes, they both, not only learned the native dialect of the Vikinger, but they took the time to know the difference between Norse and Saxon. Though for those who know, there's not a whole lot of difference. They could kind of have a conversation, but for a foreigner, it'd be a bit problematic. But anyway, I just played that game. I'm sorry, I'm bringing that up because that's just one of the many things I looked at. I was like, wasn't this game supposed to be like game series have to have like something to do with history? Like, what the fuck is happening here? And I was like, okay, Assassin's Creed series, you had my heart with Revelations, and just talking about it, I might play Revelations again just to see if get that capture that old feeling and love.
Every game with Ezio is amazing. Like, it's just
Brotherhood 2,
hands down.
So much fun. Ezio was the face, in my opinion. Like, yes, Altair ibn Lahad is a really good character when you know more about him, and once you learn about him, he really is a complex, cool character. But Ezio, in my opinion, is where the series rose. And after Ezio, I mean, Kinway was a cool character, but with the last game of Ezio, it's, in my opinion, stopped being Assassin's Creed, and that's why I'm going to have to say, with all of this fact, it's a decent series with such great games, and then it's just like,
I think we can agree.
It just started meandering.
Anytime they step outside of the animus, it instantly becomes a bad game. You're just like, please,
oh my god,
please get me back in this animus as soon as possible.
Get me. That's literally what I used to do. What me and my brother would be is like, why are we getting out of it? Why do we have to do this?
Yeah, let me go back in. Okay, so you're at decent. I'm at decent. Oz, what did you say? You said bad? Okay, so
it's decent.
Yeah, we'll put you at decent. Okay. That is over to Wyatt.
Either whichever is on here, either Dragon Age or Mass Effect. It's got to be one of them because they're the two series.
I see Mass Effect.
All right, let's do Mass Effect.
Witcher's on there.
I know Witcher's on there. 3 is a amazing game, if not a masterpiece. 2 is really good. I don't care for 1. Can't even care about it. I don't. But if you want to review it, we can. I can go through each one.
It's your choice.
You're not gonna like my opinion
would-
on any of them, so
Yeah,
That's why I'm like, I'm not even talking about it. I understand the combat is not fantastic, but I love the characters and narrative. But that's because I'm a deeply connected to the setting of The Witcher. But I can definitely say only 3 I had any fun with. The others. Anyways, let's not talk about the Witcher series. Let's talk about Mass Erect.
Mhm.
And I want to hear what one. I want to hear what Sengoku's opinion about Mass Effect. Before I say anything, I want to hear what y'all have to say.
Mass Effect is the game I bring up if I want to get into arguments with my friends.
Fun.
They love Mass Effect deeply, and it's where like I diverge from them immediately.
You mean us?
Well, sure. I don't get it. I really don't understand the love. I was just like bored as shit playing all of I tried Mass Effect 1. I didn't like it. My friends were playing Mass Effect 2. I tried it again, and I'm just like, I just don't get it, man. Like, it's just I should like this game, but like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's part of the, it's the same reason I never liked Destiny, or like as soon as I looked at Destiny, I was like, yeah, this game's going to be dog shit. It's just something about it just like turned me off. I thought it was just boring. It was like a weird dating sim that I didn't like care for sometimes. I just didn't really care for any of the protagonists, and like they gave their main protagonist like a Christ complex, which was like felt like too on the nose. Like his name's Shepherd. It's like, okay, I get it. He's Jesus. Like, thanks for shoving that down my throat. Yeah, so I'm just not a fan. But I know I'm the weird one. It's kind of like I hate pickles. I know I'm the weird one. Everyone loves pickles, but that's just how I feel. So I think it's bad.
Okay.
Oz,
All right.
how do you
Oz.
feel?
Now you listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're treading on some very thin ice.
Mass Effect 2 specifically. 1 was a lot of fun. 2 is really where it took off for me. Is one of the best games I have ever played. It has such hours of reading. First off, I love reading. I love reading all the lore in Mass Effect. It has such deep lore that you can tell they actually cared about. Three's ending with Standing and Andromeda, the entire story with Standing, perfect game. The combat, you don't like first-person shooters, and it's kind of a first-person shooter, it's more of a third-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why you wouldn't like that as a game, because you don't like that game. You don't like that style of game. People who like RPGs, people who like third-person shooters, Mass Effect is one of the best fucking games out there. It's got really cool characters. It's got fucking. It's got some more fucking.
Yeah, a lot of
But
fucking.
more importantly, it's got a fantastic, deep, rich story. It's got this lore that you can read about for hours, learning about how the Reapers come from the original species, the Leviathans. And the Leviathans, you get to meet them in one of the games. You get to talk. It's awesome. It's fan-fucking-tastic. And meeting all these people and trying your best to keep them alive or not fuck up, these decisions that you make throughout the series to make sure, someone doesn't hate you because you fought for someone else's rights or this, that, whatever. It is just such a good fucking game that I love so deeply. It's gotta be a masterpiece.
Wow.
Even with the ending of 3, the gameplay and the story of most 3 is fantastic. And Andromeda is a thing.
It counts.
The story is whatever. The gameplay is actually a lot of fun, but the story is whatever. I don't care.
Does that make it a masterpiece though? Then, if every
I don't think anyone who thinks about Mass Effect even thinks Andromeda is in the same series. Because Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 are a series. And yeah, you could put Andromeda in that. And even if you do, I think it's hard to argue that it's anything but a masterpiece. For how big the games are, for how cool it is to drive around, for how all the shit that you can do, all the people you can talk to, all the cool scenarios you can get yourself into, the gun combat, the gun customization, the armor customization. Yeah. Good game all around. Fucking masterpiece.
Okay, Wyatt, tell us how much of a masterpiece it is.
I'll explain how amazing it is with just a simple statement. My girlfriend asked, "Hey, I want to get into more video games. What's something that you would suggest?" And I told her, "Well, we've already played Witcher 3, and we play it till the death. She plays it, she loves it, I play it, I love it, and we love the DLC deeply." And I said, "Well, hey, if you want to get into more RPGs, there is a series that you may want to try. It may be a little harder because you just don't play third-person shooter. She has difficulty doing it, but I was like, okay, we can at least start with like the low part. I was like, we can start either with Dragon Age or Mass Effect." And she was like, "You know what? I played a lot of fantasy. I'll give some sci-fi a shot." And okay, amazing. She started playing. I kept my mouth shut. I've been letting her make choices. She turns to me and say, "What should I do?" And I say, "What does your heart tell you?" And she's been playing based off of her feelings, her desires, and what she wants to do as a character. She feels connected to Jane Shepard, her choices. She enjoys what she's doing. She then goes to work. She messages me and she says, "I have something amazing to tell you about Mass Effect." And I said, "Okay." And she comes home and she says, "Everyone I work with have played Mass Effect and were telling me different stuff, and we just started a conversation." That tells you the reach, love, and how I wish that Sengoku could be able to see the game the way that a lot of us do. And I understand, even for her, I watch her and she has difficulty shooting the targets, like any of the Geth, but she's having a blast doing it. She says, "Die, die, die." And she's like, even though she's shooting all around the target, it is the best thing ever. But she's invested in the story. And then I'm getting to watch like what it was like for me. And she got to recently play the Vermeer mission. And her choice led to a permanent change. And she got to see, and she's like, "Oh my God." And she got to see the ramifications, got to feel what it is to have to make one of the tough choices of the game. Lets you like really make. And I can understand not getting as invested, but like I don't think there's a person in this world that enjoys the Mako sections. If you do, I'm happy for you, but man, that driving mechanic is a pile of shit. And God damn it, get that shit away from me.
Can we agree that the driving in that game is dog shit in general?
Oh, that's what, yeah, 100%, without question.
I hate it.
The Mako is a pile of shit.
I hated it so much.
The driving in that game is bad.
Yeah.
But the characters, the aliens, Quinari are awesome from Dragon Age. They are so fucking cool. And I would be like, "Oh, are they not like the coolest race ever?" No, the motherfucking Quarians are the coolest goddamn race to ever fucking exist. I know the ins and outs of their over 4,000 year core lore on top of the stuff that they've released only through back issues. I am invested in the Quarian species. They're my favorite science fiction race ever. I love who they are, what they've developed, how their relationship with the Geth, and how it can change based off of course, Shepard's choices. But think of it outside of Shepard being God token. Anyways,
Yeah.
but I love them. The races like the Krogan, the Solarian, the way their armors are built around their bodies with their physiology in mind. You know, they very easily could have just given everybody the same fucking suit of armor, but they intentionally like have them have their own style and aesthetic. They have their own dress. They have all these the Turians. Oh, Elcor. Elcor are the cool guys. Look at them on their hands, and they're like Inquiry. I fucking love that shit. And one, yeah, it has some jank, but one is a fantastic game. Mass Effect 2 was voted out of so many games, and I know all these different lists, all these different possibilities. IGN, no one wants to listen to what they have to say, but we're talking about a public viewed, public chosen best RPGs of the last 20 years. And in the top two of course being Mass Effect 2 in the last like 20 years. And there's a reason why, is because Mass Effect 2 is one of the greatest video games of all time. And I mean that unironically, unapologetically. Just the sheer level of choice, the amount of character, passion, getting to carry over your save from one to the next, getting to see the ramifications of your actions and choices moving forward. Beautiful. Truly radiant. Mass Effect 3 was, and this is also true, the first real present my father ever got me was the release of that game. And you know, that was the start of him actually being involved. And then he disappeared for a few years. So terrific, but now he's back, whatever. But I bring that up because it had a special place for that. So I was like, okay, he got me something. Awesome. And I played it. And boy, howdy, did that ending piss me the fuck off, to the point he was like, so your mom said you didn't like the game that I got you. And I said, no, I loved all of it, except the ending just is ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely asinine. you get a red light, green light for your fucking color tokens. They eventually modified things and they gave some more context, but they held their guns and kept the endings they chose. And it's like, okay, with these new things in mind, still dumb, but this is not Burial at Sea. This is not the worst it could be. It's lame, but you know what? I can respect their vision. Remember what I said about like Disney movies and shit with their sequels, where you could see this game being something of a you know, they take recognizable things and make a new. So Andromeda exists. Mm-hmm. And Andromeda is the Fox and the Hound 2 of video games. That it has all the stuff that should make it work, but the story is absolutely fucking dog shit. I will agree. The gameplay, really good. They had a solid system. In fact, if one had the system that Andromeda had, I think that more people would enjoy one and would help them get more into the series genuinely, because it wouldn't be as janky as hell. But that aside, the characters are fine. Two characters in my mind stick out. The Krogan, who's lived for over 1,500 fucking years. That guy's fucking cool. And the Turian that you can fuck. You know? She's cool. Everyone else? Like carbon copy? Okay, cool. Oh, here's a new alien species that's conquered this side of space. You look like a more fleshy Prothean. Okay, hi, how you doing? Can I get out of here? Can I? And that's why I stopped playing like 15 hours into the game with plenty of game left, and I haven't picked it up since. I played it as far as I could, and then I was just like, I am not invested in this game. I don't care what is happening. I just don't give a shit. And yeah. So I'm in a bind here because one is better now because the Legendary Edition, I will say the Legendary Edition fixed a lot of issues and made the games much cleaner and polished. It's really cool to see. But when it came out, one was so it got me into sci-fi. It got me into everything. I still would say that's a very good game. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece. It's a very good game, and it got me through the door. It opened my mind to new possibilities. Mass Effect 2, masterpiece, fucking amazing. If you haven't played Mass Effect 2, play through Mass Effect 1, get to know a lot of the stuff and learn some things, and then enjoy Mass Effect 2. But here's the thing, you don't have to play Mass Effect 1, but it does you really well if you can do it and see what's going on.
For sure.
And then, oh yeah. And then Mass Effect 3 is a great game. Genuinely fantastic, so much fun. Worth your time. Even though the ending ain't fantastic, the build-up, the lead-up, and the emotional weight of your choices leading to there, clean as fuck. Enjoy the ride. So I would, in all, including Andromeda, which dog shit story, but solid gameplay, but I just couldn't find myself finishing it. I would place the series personally based on everything that it has, I would place it as a great, if not amazing series. But I will say Andromeda does hold it back, and the ending of Mass Effect 3 ain't fantastic. So I would say it is a great series. I would put it up there with the likes of, Red Dead and Dragon Age especially. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, in fairness, I don't think it's bad. I think it would be decent for me, because it didn't appeal to me, but I don't think it's a bad game realistically. I think Oz is being ridiculous in bringing up Fallout 76 over and over, and then completely ignoring Andromeda. But
I'm not ignoring Andromeda.
You are.
See, the difference is Andromeda is a playable game.
Would you say
I can't even imagine playing fucking 76 for more than a couple minutes.
Okay.
Oh, good fucking God. I can agree with that 100%. Jesus Christ.
I could play through the entirety of Andromeda just because the gameplay is a lot of fun.
Well, let me say this. Is Mass Effect 1 a masterpiece?
I really enjoy Mass Effect 1. It really sets up the story for the rest of the game. And it's got a really fun engineer build that I usually end up doing. And it introduces all these cool characters that you will very quickly get attached to.
So is it a masterpiece, though, or is it amazing?
I'd say it's a masterpiece. I'd say compared to the games of its time, not much better.
Okay, so 2 is also a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
And 3 is also a masterpiece?
2, in my opinion, is the best game in the series.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. But
weirdly, with the Legendary Edition, I think I like the combat in 1 better now, though.
Is 3 a masterpiece as well?
3 is really, really good all the way up until the end.
So is it a masterpiece?
And then some stuff happens.
So is it a masterpiece? Or is it amazing? Or is it great?
I'd say 3 is still amazing. I wouldn't say 3 is a masterpiece.
And where's Andromeda?
Decent.
Decent. Right. So by that logic,
well, I don't know if
that pulls the entire series. That pulls the entire
series. The combat system is definitely the best in the entire series.
That's what I'm trying to allude to, though, is if you use that logic, then you're sitting at amazing for the whole series.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say it's decent. You two are gonna say it's amazing. So I'm gonna say that's a great game. That sound fair?
I'm in support for that.
And then we can agree that we put horrible Fallout 76 and League of Legends, no arguments.
Yeah, no arguments at all.
Wait, I can argue.
No.
I can argue. Wait a minute.
It just went there. It just naturally went there. Just as the Civilization series masterpiece.
There's a game called Civilization.
Is there
where you
a series? Is there a franchise on this list that you guys would consider a masterpiece?
Let me take a quick look.
I think so. I'm very picky.
Ooh, Shadow of Colossus.
There's one game, isn't there?
I will openly say that Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, is the greatest samurai or ninja focused game there is that has or ever existed. It is, in fact, my favorite Sony exclusive. I would say that's a masterpiece.
But
I replayed the shit out of it.
Are we saying one game though, or a franchise?
Well, okay, that's fair. Are we talking a single game series, or we're talking about full franchises for this one?
Full franchises.
Yeah, so that's the trick, right?
There is a second Shadow of Colossus, though.
Is there?
There is a sequel.
I thought that was Ico.
It's a sequel to Shadow of Colossus.
Well, that's fair, and Ico is pretty cool.
I don't remember the name of the second game, but there is a sequel.
If I have to give a series masterpiece, and if I'm not allowed to say Ghost of Tsushima as it's a singular game, then if it's on this list, you said, right? On this list?
Yeah.
Without a doubt, Battlefront, not Battlefield. Battlefield is awesome. Battlefield 1, more specifically. But Battlefront is the shit. Oh, wait, no. They made a new Battlefront 2, and that game had horrible microtransactions. No, even that is ruined.
Battlefront 2 was the last good one, and then it got into Battlefront 3. Which is the one with all the microtransactions.
Yeah, that thing's a pile of shit.
1 and
2
were great. I loved Battlefront 1 and 2, but yeah.
I think maybe, and I know there have been some shitters, but I think overall, despite all the like rough games or maybe not great games, I think Zelda's gotta be a masterpiece.
Legend of Zelda, I can be with that. The Legend of Zelda, I'm a Link boy. I can support that.
I didn't really play them after Ocarina. I know there's like better ones, but
yeah, a lot of these are singular games. They didn't make entire franchises.
I was a grown-ass man when all the other ones came out, so
it's fair.
Link doesn't hit as hard when you're an adult, and you don't buy Nintendo systems, right? Like until the Switch came out and all that. Like after 64, no one was buying them.
Lego Star Wars is probably up there.
That's fair.
I couldn't get into Lego Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah,
it's such an easy game to get into too.
No, but that's why it was just boring.
I think I know which one it is, because there, in my opinion, has never been a bad version of this game of the games that are on this list. My first inclination was to go with another series that I adored, Fire Emblem, but then I saw Super Smash Brothers was on this list, and I realized I have never had a bad time playing Super Smash Brothers. Whatever the game, whatever the title, I had a good time.
I've definitely had bad time playing Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, for sure. Just
fine.
Out.
I will submit to y'all's failures and say Fire Emblem, because I have fun with Fire Emblem if it's traditional, old school, new school. Fire Emblem Three Houses was such a blast. Me and Victoria will trade turns playing through entire runs. Like Blue Lions Forever, best.
Yeah.
She's all like, "Oh, but the Golden Stag," and I'm like, Blue Lions, that's it. Go ahead.
My argument would be, just because I saw at the very bottom somewhere around here, I don't remember where it was, but I saw, there it is, Total War Shogun 2. So I would argue that Total War series is like a masterpiece series. Like that, I love every
Warhammer's
Total War.
On here.
Which one?
Warhammer. I believe Warhammer 2 is on here.
Oh, is here? I didn't see it.
But he's right. Starting with Shogun 2, I will agree that starting with Shogun 2, most of the series after Shogun 2, even Medieval 2 was really fucking great.
I just picked Shogun because it's the only Total War I saw on here.
Okay, fair enough.
But I love all of them.
The series of it, I will say I agree with you, except in one game. One game in the whole of the series really bogged it down, in my opinion. Boy, howdy. The release of Total War Rome 2, boy, that sucked balls. Like, it got great afterwards, but man, did you play that when it came out?
Yeah, and I wanted to love it so much, but it was rough.
Ugh.
Yeah, I had to put it down and pick it back up like a year later to even.
Yeah,
like,
you had to wait like a year for them to fix the goddamn. My favorite part is that they were like, "Oh, we have the most effective," and I was watching the videos like, "Oh, this is so cool! Look at the destruction!" And then you're playing it and like, why is no one attacking my? I guess I'll just run them down. Great. So my Hannibal forces of, I thought I was going to be steamrolled, but my Hannibal forces that are overwhelmed just literally ran over the enemy. Great.
Yeah.
Any last minute additions to this very small list that we have because we talk a lot?
Yeah.
I replay the Metro series all the time. Metro, I'm a major fan. I would even say that it is one of my favorite series of all time. I replay 1, 2, and Metro Last Light, Metro Exodus. I love all three. They're so good. I have the whole trilogy exclusive edition, and I have the metal case copy that came. Unfortunately, I never got my my lighter. They never sent it with my box, so I felt really fucking gypped.
What a trash series.
Oh yeah, I felt fucking trashed. That one I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Metro. До свидания, comrades. Вичвал. Таравиж.
All right.
Jigga donkey. Okay.
Well, I do think that might wrap us up for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's been a good night. Lots of games got discussed. Some wrong opinions were thrown out about Mass Effect, but
maybe I'll give it another go in like now that it's what is it called, Legacy Edition or whatever?
I mean,
Legendary.
Yeah,
Legendary.
You may find the Legendary Edition in your inventory soon. If you're gonna put those words out there.
I have more patience for dating sims now, so I think I could tolerate the game.
So the fun part is that you don't even have to date in it. You can be you can either be monogamous, giggity, or you can be completely asexual, and that is acceptable. Congratulations, you don't have to fuck, but everyone knows you should.
Yeah, you have.
And we all know that who the best character to romance in the first one is. Say it with me, class. 1, 2, 3. Caden Alenko is the best romance partner in the first one. Liara Tassoni is literally a child.
Tala.
Tally's not romanceable in the first one.
You're talking to a guy who tried to romance Scout Harding in Dragon Age Inquisition and succeeded.
Wait, okay, listen. That's a technicality, and it's a fling. It's not a full romance.
No, we succeeded. Our outcry
is not romanceable in the first one. Are you saying that you're Oz? What did we say about calling people that are your girlfriend when they're not your girlfriend? That's not cute. It's creepy. I'm kidding.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
I was saying that Tally. I thought you said you're dating Tally in the first game. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, that's who I romanced in the first game.
No,
I
you
didn't
didn't.
date anyone in the first game. I was just waiting for the second one. I knew it would happen.
It was the long con. He was just holding out. He was just like, the friend zone is temporary. My love for you is forever.
That's 100% true.
Did you know that if minor spoilers? Did you know that if you don't get with Tally in the second one, what she does, who she gets with in the third one?
I know, I don't.
Oz obviously doesn't know.
Of course, he always dates Tally. That's fair.
Yeah.
Best girl.
Yeah, she is best, but if you don't date her, she gets with Shepard's right hand. Well, saying man is inaccurate. An archangel among men.
Garrus?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad I always.
Well, because they're both letho species, so they can eat together. Unlike you filthy human.
I hope one day to understand what all of this just meant.
You see, in the system of physiology, a left-handed intestine. Okay, I'm sorry. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining
Adios.
us.
Hail Satan, love you. Mwah.
Like us, subscribe to us, check out our other videos. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Wednesday.
Join our
See you
Patreon.
soon.
Bye.
Good
We're out.
game.
Good game.